Welcome to Monk's Temple. Us begin in the most natural way possible, with a breath. Not a forced breath, but the one that is already there, moving through you, all on its own. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the subtle expansion of your ribs. This rhythm has been with you since your very first moment, a faithful, silent companion through every experience of your life. In the philosophy of Buddhism, this breath is more than a biological function. It is an anchor to the present, a direct gateway to the awareness that is your true home. So us settle there, together, in this sanctuary of the present moment. There is nothing you need to achieve here, no state you need to attain. Your only task is to listen, and in listening, to remember a peace that has never left you. I'd like to tell you a story. It is a simple one, from a time I spent living in a small cottage near a wide, slow-moving river. Every evening, I would watch an old willow tree that leaned out over the water. Its branches hung down, some of them trailing in the current. During a particularly dry season, the river level dropped dramatically. Several of those long branches were left suspended in the air, no longer touching the water. I noticed something fascinating. The branches that remained in the water were flexible, flowing with the current, bending but never breaking. The branches now hanging in the empty air, however, had become brittle. When the wind blew, they would knock against each other with a stiff, jarring sound, and a few had even snapped. This image became a profound teacher for me. The river, in its constant, gentle flow, did not just surround the branches, it informed them. It taught them resilience through connection, flexibility through surrender. The branches in the air, isolated and trying to hold their own form without support, became fragile. Our minds are so very much like those willow branches. When we are connected to the flow of the present moment, to the reality of what is, not what we fear or crave, we find a natural flexibility. We adapt. We endure. But when we lift our awareness out of the river of now, into the dry, conceptual air of past regret and future worry, we become brittle. We strain against invisible winds, we clash with our own thoughts, and we risk snapping under pressures that the flow of presence could have easily carried. This is the core insight the Buddha offered the world over 2 millennia ago. Suffering, or dukkha, is not the presence of pain, that is inevitable in a changing world. Suffering is the brittleness that comes from resisting that flow. It is the branch trying to remain rigid in the wind because it has forgotten the supportive embrace of the river. The entire path of Buddhist wisdom is a gentle guide back to the water. It is a method for re-immersing your awareness into the nourishing, intelligent current of life as it actually unfolds, moment by moment. You see, we are all born knowing how to be in this river. Watch a young child completely absorbed in a patch of grass, following the journey of a single ant. There is no separation. The child, the ant, the grass, the moment, it is all one flowing experience. There is no commentary, no judgment, no worry about where the ant is going or what it means for the future. There is just the deep, participatory engagement with life. Somewhere along the way, we are taught to climb out of the river. We are taught to measure, to name, to categorize, to control. We are taught that safety lies in the brittle branch of the intellect, holding itself aloof from the messy, unpredictable flow below. And so we spend our lives up in that dry air, wondering why we feel so fragile, so anxious, so profoundly tired. The word Buddha simply means the awakened one. It does not refer to a god or a supernatural being, but to a human being who woke up from the dream of separation. He woke up to the reality that he was, and always had been, the river itself. Not just a branch dangling above it. His teachings are not commandments, but a map left for those of us still feeling the ache of brittleness, pointing the way back to the water. This is the authority of Buddhism. It is not an authority of dogma, but of direct, verifiable experience. It invites you to test it for yourself. To lower your branch, your awareness, back into the stream of sensation, of breath, of simple being, and to notice what happens to your inner state. So, let's perform a small experiment together, right now. Bring your attention to your hands. Don't look at them, just feel them. Feel the subtle temperature of the skin. Feel the weight of your hands resting wherever they are. Feel the sensation of contact, with the air, with each other, with your legs. Can you notice the aliveness there? A faint tingling, a hum of energy. That is the river. That is the direct, present moment reality of your physical being. Your thoughts about your hands. What they look like, what they've done, what they should do, that is the dry, conceptual air. For just these few seconds, your awareness be the branch that dips fully into the sensation. Thinking soften into the background. There is no right or wrong way to feel your hands. There is only the honest noticing of what is already true. Feel that. In that simple act, you have taken the first, most crucial step on this path. You have remembered how to connect with the flow. You have shifted from the brittle mind of thought to the resilient mind of embodied awareness. This shift is the essence of meditation, but it is also the essence of wise living. It is the practice of choosing the river, again and again, throughout the chaos and beauty of your day. If this first step, this gentle remembering of the water, has brought you even a moment of quiet or a sense of coming home, I invite you to make Monk's Temple a regular part of your journey. By subscribing to the channel, you are not just following an account, you are building a community of remembrance. You are giving yourself a daily, gentle nudge to lower your branches back into the flow. It is a simple act of kindness toward your own peace. Now, us continue deeper into this understanding, exploring how this flow shapes the very nature of our thoughts and our deepest fears. Us continue our journey from the riverbank, but now, us turn our gaze inward, to the landscape of our own thoughts. If the present moment is the river, then your thoughts are like leaves floating upon it. Some are bright and beautiful, like golden autumn maple leaves. Others are dark, crumpled, and caught in small eddies, spinning in place. The fundamental teaching of Buddhism here is both simple and liberating. You are not the leaves. You are the awareness that sees the leaves float by. Your suffering begins the moment you mistake yourself for a single, passing leaf, especially a dark, spinning one, and believe its journey is your entire destiny. I recall a long walk I took through a forest in late fall. The ground was a thick carpet of leaves in every stage of decay and color. I decided to sit and watch a single oak leaf, russet brown and curled at the edges, as it rested on the forest floor. As I watched, a slight breeze stirred. The leaf skittered a few inches. Then it was still. A moment later, a stronger gust lifted it entirely, tumbling it over other leaves until it landed in a small, clear stream at the forest's edge. Instantly, the leaf's journey transformed. It was caught by the current and carried away smoothly, silently, around a bend and out of sight. Its turbulent, skittering, uncertain motion on the solid ground was over. It had found the flow. Your worried mind is that leaf on the solid ground of conceptual thought. It is caught in the brittle, separate world of what if and if only. It skitters and tumbles with every passing mental breeze, a memory, a headline, a fragment of a conversation. It feels every bump and obstacle as a personal affront. But there is a stream always available. That stream is the conscious, felt experience of your body and senses in the now. When you shift your identity from the thought leaf to the awareness that contains both the leaf and the stream, you are, in that moment, carried. The turbulence doesn't necessarily stop, but it is contextualized within a vaster, flowing movement. The thought is seen for what it is, a temporary phenomenon passing through the spaciousness of your mind, not the definition of it. This is where the Buddhist teaching on anatta, or not self, becomes not a philosophical puzzle, but a profound relief. It is the insight that the things you typically call me, or mine, your opinions, your moods, your memories, even your aches and pains, are all like those leaves. They are temporary, conditioned, impersonal events floating in the stream of cause and effect. Clinging to them, claiming them as your permanent identity, is what creates the skittering, anxious existence. Releasing that claim doesn't make you disappear, it allows you to discover what you truly are, the clear, knowing space of the stream itself. You are the witness, not the weather passing through you. Me share another story. I once knew a master glassblower. In his workshop, he would gather a molten gather of glass on the end of a long pipe. It was a glowing, formless, brilliant orb. He would then blow into the pipe and shape the glass with wet wooden blocks and tweezers. The heat was tremendous. He said to me, "The secret is not to fight the heat or the fluidity. The secret is to have a clear intention of the form you wish to create, and then to have a conversation with the material. If you try to force it into shape before it has cooled to just the right consistency, it will shatter. If you wait too long, it becomes rigid and unworkable. You must feel the moment, and work with it. Your emotional and mental states are that molten glass. When you are in the heat of anxiety, that is not the time to force a rigid solution. That is the time to bring a gentle, patient breath, to blow space into the situation. To not immediately grab it with the tools of judgment and panic. You must allow the heat of the feeling to be there, to feel its consistency, and to work with it skillfully, not against it. Trying to fix a panic attack with more panic is like trying to shape scorching hot glass with bare hands. The Buddhist practice of mindfulness is precisely this. It is the skill of feeling the consistency of your present moment experience without immediately trying to smash it into a different shape. It is learning to be the artist who knows the right temperature for transformation. So, how do we cultivate this? We start by creating a tiny pocket of stream in our day. You don't have to stop all your thoughts. You simply practice changing your relationship to them. Here is a gentle exercise. For the next minute, as you listen, your thoughts come and go. But with each one, silently say to yourself, a thought about work, or a memory, or a planning thought. Just name the category. Don't follow the story. Don't argue with it. Just acknowledge its presence as you would acknowledge a leaf floating into your field of vision, and then return your attention to the sound of my voice or the feeling of your breath. You are practicing being the stream that carries the leaves, not the leaf stuck on the bank. This practice, repeated, begins to wear a new groove in your consciousness. It builds the neural pathway of the observer. And from that place of observation, choice becomes possible. You see the anxious thought arise, and instead of becoming it, you can choose to take a conscious breath. You can choose to feel your feet on the floor. You can choose to ask, is this thought a leaf on solid ground, or can it be carried by the stream of this moment? This is true empowerment. It is not control over the leaves, which will always fall as they may, but sovereignty over where you place your attention, on the brittle, separate ground of thought, or in the flowing, connected reality of embodied presence. To understand the heart of peace, we must explore the nature of resistance. Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing in a gentle, warm rain. It is not a storm, but a steady, soothing shower. If you stand with your shoulders hunched, fists clenched, face turned away, you create a profound tension within your own body. You are at war with the weather. You are saying, this should not be. Yet, the rain continues, indifferent to your protest. Now, imagine you simply, relax. Your shoulders drop. You turn your face upwards. You open your hands. The rain is the same. The temperature is the same. But your entire experience has transformed from one of struggle to one of allowing, even of receiving. The water is no longer an adversary, it is simply what is happening. This is the precise pivot point that Buddhist practice turns upon. Pain, discomfort, loss, change, these are the rains of human life. They will fall. Suffering, however, is the optional act of bracing against them. It is the internal contraction, that no, that you add to the experience. The Buddha's great insight was that we have far less control over the rain than we think, but we have a profound, though often overlooked, capacity to relax our own resistance to it. The end of suffering is not the end of rain, but the end of the inner war. I learned this not in a grand epiphany, but in a humble greenhouse. A friend, an orchid grower, showed me a section dedicated to a rare, finicky species. People kill these with kindness, she said. They see a leaf droop and they overwater. They see a spot of sun and they move it into a blaze of light. They are so afraid of it dying that they smother it. The orchid doesn't need their fear. It needs a stable, consistent environment. It needs the grower to be calm, to observe without panic, and to provide what is needed, not what the grower's anxiety demands. She tended the plants with a tranquil, almost detached focus. Her hands were steady. Her attention was precise but not possessive. And her orchids flourished. Your mind, when worried, is an over-attentive, fearful gardener. It sees a slight droop in your mood, a moment of sadness, a pang of loneliness, and immediately floods it with the water of frantic analysis and catastrophic thinking. It sees a ray of opportunity and, in its excitement, scorches the delicate shoot with the harsh light of expectation and pressure. Worry is not care. It is a turbulent, disruptive energy that agitates the very system it claims to protect. The Buddhist path cultivates the mind of the master gardener, present, attentive, responsive, but rooted in a deep, unshakable calm. It knows that life has its own intelligence, its own rhythms of growth and dormancy. Its job is to provide the stable environment of mindful awareness, and to trust the process. This brings us to a cornerstone of the Buddha's teaching, equanimity. The Pali word is upekkha. It is not indifference or coldness. It is the vast, open sky that holds both sunshine and storm clouds without being destroyed by either. It is the capacity of the heart to remain balanced and compassionate in the face of life's inevitable 8 worldly winds, gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disrepute, pleasure and pain. When you are rooted in equanimity, A financial loss may cause practical concern, but it does not unravel your sense of self. A critical word may sting, but it does not poison your entire day. You allow the weather to pass through the sky of your awareness, knowing the sky itself remains untouched. How do we cultivate this sky-like mind? We start by noticing where we are already bracing. Bring to mind a minor, persistent irritation, perhaps the constant hum of traffic, or the way a certain drawer in your home always sticks. Notice how, just thinking of it, there is a subtle tightening somewhere in your body. A slight frown. A micro sigh. That is resistance. That is you, standing hunched in that gentle rain. Now, for just a moment, experiment. As you hold that irritation in awareness, consciously relax your jaw. Soften your belly. Take one breath, deliberately deep and slow, as if you are breathing directly into that tightened place. Do not try to make the irritation go away. Simply change your relationship to it. See if you can allow the fact of the traffic, the fact of the sticky drawer, to exist without your inner commentary adding a layer of struggle to it. The sound is just sound. The sticking drawer is just a piece of wood that needs wax. You are practicing upeka. You are allowing the rain to fall while you stand open, without adding the war. This practice, applied to the small, daily irritations, builds a resilience that will hold you when the larger storms arrive. It is spiritual strength training. You are learning that your peace is not dependent on external conditions being perfect, but on your internal relationship to conditions being wise. You are discovering that you can feel sadness without drowning in it, feel anger without being consumed by it, feel fear without being paralyzed by it. Each emotion becomes a type of weather in your inner sky, noticed, felt, and allowed to move on because you are no longer bracing against it, trying to push it out of existence. This is the profound gift of the Buddha's wisdom. It does not promise a life without rain. It offers you an umbrella of awareness and a cloak of equanimity. It shows you that you have been standing in the rain, drenched and miserable, while holding an umbrella folded at your side all along. The practice is the simple, courageous act of opening it. Explore a concept that often feels elusive, emptiness. In the West, this word can sound frightening, a void of meaning or a state of lack. But in the profound wisdom of Buddhism, emptiness is the very source of freedom and possibility. It is not a barren nothingness, but a fertile, open space. To understand it, picture a window. The window's value is not in its wooden frame or its glass pane. Its essential function is in the empty space it contains. It is that open space that allows light to flood a room, that you see the world outside, that permits a breeze to enter. If the window were filled with stone, it would be a wall, solid, impenetrable, and closed. The emptiness is what makes it useful, what makes it a window. Your mind, at its most peaceful, is that window. Your thoughts, feelings, and sensations are the ever-changing weather and light passing through the clear, open space of your awareness. Suffering arises when you mistake the frame for the window, when you become fixated on a single cloud passing by and decide that cloud is now a permanent stain on the glass, or worse, that it is the glass itself. You build a wall where a window was meant to be. The Buddhist teachings on sunyata, or emptiness, are an invitation to recognize the open, spacious, and inherently pure nature of your own consciousness. It is already empty of any fixed, solid, permanent thing called a self. That emptiness is not a flaw, it is your capacity to experience, to love, to change, and to know peace. I remember a silent retreat held in a vast, high desert canyon. The silence there wasn't an absence of sound, but a presence of space that allowed every sound to be exquisitely clear, the wind combing through the sagebrush, the distant call of a hawk, the crunch of your own footsteps on the gravel. One afternoon, I sat facing a monumental cliff face. My mind was initially busy, projecting its own dramas onto that silent rock. But as the hours passed, something shifted. The mental chatter began to settle, like dust in still air. What was left was not a blank mind, but a vast, receptive awareness. The cliff was no longer a separate object out there. It existed in my awareness, and my awareness existed in relation to it. There was a seamless, empty intimacy between the perceiver and the perceived. In that emptiness, there was a profound fullness, a connection so calm it defied the very idea of separation. This is the secret. Emptiness and interconnected fullness are two sides of the same coin. This understanding dissolves the engine of worry. Worry is the mind's attempt to fill the window with solid, frightening projections of the future. It takes the empty, pure potential of the next moment and fills it with the dense, heavy stone of what if. It is an act of fearful creation, building a wall brick by anxious brick, until you feel trapped in a dark room of your own making. The practice of mindfulness is the gentle art of stopping this construction. It is returning to the empty window. It is noticing, I am building a wall again, and then, with a soft breath, allowing the imaginary stones to dissolve, to fall away, revealing the open space that was always there. So, how do you practice with emptiness in daily life? You look for the gaps. The gap between one thought and the next. The brief, silent moment after you exhale and before you inhale again. The split-second pause before you react to a provocation. These are all tiny windows of emptiness, cracks in the wall of your habitual thinking. In those gaps, freedom lies. You can train yourself to notice them. While waiting for a traffic light to change, instead of filling that time with mental rehearsal or irritation, simply be with the gap. Look at the sky through your windshield. Feel the steering wheel in your hands. For those 20 seconds, be the empty window, not the builder of walls. This is not wasting time. This is reclaiming the fundamental architecture of your mind. This brings us to one of the most compassionate insights of the Buddha. He saw that we are all building walls out of mistaken belief. We build walls of, I am this kind of person, or, my life must look like that, or, this pain is mine forever. We cling to these solid identities because we fear the emptiness, not understanding that the emptiness is our true home. Letting these walls crumble can feel terrifying, like losing yourself. But what you lose is only the prison. What you find is the boundless sky. You are not a fixed, solid entity. You are a process, a flow, an ever-changing expression of life itself, momentarily appearing in this particular form. When you touch this truth, even intellectually at first, a deep relaxation becomes possible. The pressure to maintain a rigid self-image softens. The need to control life to protect that fragile self begins to unwind. Consider a tree in winter. Its branches are bare, empty of leaves. It does not look barren to the wise eye, it looks open, ready, sculptural against the sky. It is gathering potential. Its emptiness is a necessary stage for the explosion of green that will come in spring. Your own quiet moments, your periods of not knowing, your times of simple being, these are not failures of productivity. They are your winter branches. They are the empty window through which new light will inevitably dawn. Honor them. Protect them. For in the philosophy handed down from the Buddha, it is in this sacred emptiness that the entire universe has room to conspire on your behalf, to bring forth blossoms you could never have planned from the cramped, cluttered room of a worried mind. We arrive now at a powerful and often misunderstood principle, karma. In popular culture, it's often seen as a cosmic system of punishment and reward, a ledger of good and bad deeds. But the Buddhist understanding of karma is far more nuanced, more intimate, and ultimately more empowering. It is less about what the universe does to you and more about the energy you emit from you. Think of it not as fate, but as the natural law of cause and effect in the realm of intention and consciousness. It is the understanding that every thought, word, and action is a seed planted, and the quality of that seed determines the quality of the fruit that will later grow in the garden of your experience. Imagine you are holding two tuning forks. One is tuned to a note of fear, the other to a note of peace. If you strike the fork of fear, it will begin to vibrate. What will happen? All around you, other objects tuned to that same frequency of fear will begin to resonate in sympathy. They will start to hum, to shake. Your world will fill with the visible and invisible reverberations of that initial strike. This is the mechanics of karma. Your dominant inner state, your vibration of worry, of generosity, of resentment, of love, does not exist in a vacuum. It sends out waves that attract circumstances, people, and opportunities of a resonant frequency. Your anxious mind, constantly striking the tuning fork of lack and danger, will inevitably call forth from the world more experiences that feel lacking and dangerous. I witnessed a beautiful, simple illustration of this in a communal garden. Two neighbors had adjacent plots. One gardener approached her plot with frustration. She saw the weeds as enemies, yanked at them angrily, fretted over every pest, and watered her plants with a tense, hurried energy. The other gardener would come to her plot and simply sit for a few minutes, observing. She would touch the soil, speak softly to the seedlings, and work with a calm, deliberate focus. She removed weeds with respect, almost thanking them for showing her where the soil was fertile. Over the season, the first gardener's plants were stunted, prone to disease, and produced little. The second gardener's plot was lush, abundant, and resilient. The sun, the rain, the seeds were the same. The difference was the energy, the intention, the karmic quality the gardener brought to her work. She was striking a different tuning fork. The Buddha taught this to free us, not to imprison us in guilt. If your past actions and habits have created a tangled garden, you are not condemned to it forever. This very moment, you can pick up a new tuning fork. You can plant a new seed. The practice of mindfulness is the practice of becoming aware of which fork you are about to strike. In that sacred pause between stimulus and response, you gain the power to choose, do I strike the fork of reaction, of old fear? Or do I choose, with great kindness, to strike the fork of conscious response, of peace? That choice is the creation of your future karma. It is you, becoming the gardener of your own inner landscape. This reframes the entire endeavor of spiritual practice. You are not trying to please a distant deity or appease a cosmic judge. You are engaging in the most practical science there is, the science of your own heart and mind. Every time you sit in meditation and gently return from a worried thought to the breath, you are planting a seed of mindfulness. Every time you choose kindness when you could have chosen sharpness, you are planting a seed of compassion. These seeds may seem small, insignificant against the roaring storms of your old habits. But they are powerful. They settle into the deep soil of your consciousness, and they will grow. One day, you will find yourself in a difficult situation and, to your own surprise, a calm breath will arise where once there was only panic. A generous thought will appear where once there was only resentment. This is not an accident. This is your karma ripening, the fruit of the good seeds you have been diligently, patiently planting. So, what is the practical step? Start with the energy behind your smallest actions. When you wash a single dish, can you wash it with full attention, as an act of care for your home, rather than as a hurried obstacle between you and relaxation? That is a seed. When you listen to someone, can you truly offer them the space of your attention, without mentally rehearsing your reply? That is a seed. You are not just doing a task, you are setting a frequency. You are telling the universe, this is the quality of energy I am cultivating. This is the note I choose to sound. Over time, the universe, which is not a separate entity, but the totality of all resonating energies, begins to reflect that quality back to you in the form of synchronistic events, kinder interactions, and an internal atmosphere of increasing trust. This is why worry is such a potent source of negative karma. It is not a sin, it is a misapplication of creative energy. It is you, using the incredible power of your imagination not to envision peace or solutions, but to vividly hallucinate problems. You are literally planting seeds of disturbance. The Buddhist path is an invitation to harness that same creative power with wisdom. To imagine healing. To envision peace. To feel gratitude in advance. To plant those seeds instead. When you understand karma in this light, your life ceases to feel like something that is happening to you, and becomes a sacred canvas upon which you are, moment by mindful moment, painting with the brush of your own intention. We have spoken of rivers, windows, and tuning forks. Now, let's consider the nature of the one who perceives all of this. Who is the listener? In the quiet space of your own awareness, as you hear these words, there is a knowing presence. That presence is not a thought. It is the space in which thoughts are known. This, in the deepest teachings of Buddhism, is the heart of the inquiry. The Buddha did not ask his followers to believe in a doctrine, but to investigate for themselves, what is this that is aware? Me offer a metaphor. Imagine you are in a planetarium, watching a spectacular show. Galaxies swirl, stars are born and die, comets streak across the domed ceiling. It is mesmerizing, overwhelming, beautiful, and terrifying. For a long time, you are completely lost in the show. You gasp at the supernovas, you flinch at the asteroids. Then, in a quiet moment, you happen to glance away from the dome. You see the edge of the projector. You see the rows of seats. You remember, I am in a planetarium. This is a projection. The show continues with all its drama, but your relationship to it has fundamentally changed. You are no longer a captive audience. You are the one watching the show, from a seat in the room. Your life is that planetarium show. Your thoughts, your emotions, your sensory experiences, they are the breathtaking, constantly changing projection on the dome of your consciousness. Worry is the state of being so utterly absorbed in a frightening scene that you forget you are in a seat. You believe the asteroid is going to hit you. The practice of mindfulness, of awakening, is that moment of glancing away from the content and recognizing the context. It is the gentle remembrance, I am the awareness that is witnessing this experience. I am not the experience itself. This recognition is the essence of what the Buddha woke up to. He is called the awakened one, not because he learned secret facts, but because he fully and irrevocably realized himself as the aware space, not the passing show. I had a personal glimpse of this during a period of intense physical pain. The pain was a constant, screaming signal in my body, a brilliant, terrible star in my personal planetarium. One night, in exhaustion, I stopped fighting it. I stopped trying to think my way out of it. In a moment of surrender, I did something simple. I asked, to whom is this pain appearing? I shifted my attention from the sensation of pain to the awareness that was aware of the pain. And there, in the background, behind the blazing star of sensation, was a vast, quiet, peaceful darkness. The pain was still present, a bright point of light, but it was now contained within an immense, silent space. The pain didn't disappear, but my identity shifted from being the point of light to being the space that held it. The suffering, the mental agony about the pain, diminished drastically. This is not a technique to bypass legitimate medical needs, but a profound illustration of the principle, you are the screen, not the movie. This understanding is the ultimate antidote to worry. Worry is a compelling, immersive movie titled, The Future is a Disaster. You get sucked into the plot, you feel the tension in your body, you believe the characters are real. But you have the power, in any moment, to lean back in your seat. To feel the chair beneath you. To notice you are breathing. To remember you are the watcher. The movie may keep playing, the anxious thoughts may continue to flit across the screen, but their power to hypnotize you is broken. You are free. This freedom is not a state of blank dissociation. It is a state of profound, engaged clarity. You can now watch the worry movie with curiosity. Interesting. My mind is producing that storyline again. Without that identification, the energy fueling the movie begins to dissipate. So how do you cultivate this? You practice shifting your identity from the content to the context. Throughout your day, insert simple inquiry points. When you feel a strong emotion, pause and ask silently, what is aware of this feeling? Don't analyze the feeling. Just feel the awareness that feels it. When you are lost in thought, gently ask, where am I? In the thought, or in the awareness that knows the thought? The answer isn't verbal. It's a felt sense, a subtle inner relaxation, a stepping back. You are training yourself to find the seat in the planetarium, again and again. This is the non-dual heart of Buddhist wisdom. There is not a separate you and a separate world. There is experiencing, and the aware space in which experiencing happens. And they are not two. The projector and the dome are one system. When you rest as the aware space, you are not withdrawing from life, you are participating in it from its most fundamental level. You act, love, work, and create, but you do so from the unshakable foundation of the witness, not from the fragile identity of a character buffeted by the plot. This is true fearlessness. It is not the absence of fear, but the knowledge that fear, like every other passing phenomenon, is just another scene in the show. And you, in your deepest essence, are the silent, loving awareness that holds the entire production, forever unchanged, forever at peace. We've explored awareness as the silent screen, the vast sky. But wisdom must also walk on the earth. It must touch the gritty, practical details of a human life, the unanswered emails, the difficult conversations, the waiting in line, the paying of bills. How does the boundless awareness of the Buddha's enlightenment meet the Monday morning commute? This is where we discover perhaps the most compassionate aspect of the path. It is not an escape from the world, but a profound and graceful way of moving through it. It is embodied wisdom. Think of a master calligrapher. Before her lies a blank scroll, precious ink, and a finely pointed brush. The art she will create exists not just in her mind, but in the universe of coordination between her intention, her breath, the flexibility of the brush, the absorbency of the paper, and the flow of the ink. She cannot force it. A tense hand will produce a jagged, broken line. A distracted mind will lead to a spilled blot. Her mastery is a state of unified being. Her awareness is fully present in her body. Her body is an extension of her serene intention, and her intention is in harmonious dialogue with the materials. The result is not merely writing, it is a living expression of concentrated peace. Your life is that scroll. Each day, each interaction, is a stroke of the brush. Worry is the tense, trembling hand. It is the mind divorcing itself from the body, flying into the future to fret over strokes that haven't been made, while the actual brush in the present moment drips ink and ruins the character right in front of it. The Buddhist practice of mindfulness is the training to reunite the mind with the body, to bring the artist fully into the room. It is to make your breath the handle of the brush, your senses the point, and your clear, calm intention the guiding hand. I learned about this unity from a stone mason who was restoring an old temple wall. He worked with immense, irregular stones. He would stand before a gap, look at a stone, turn it, feel its weight, and then, with a few precise taps of his hammer, fit it perfectly into place. I asked him how he knew where to strike. He said, "I don't think about it. My hands know. I get out of the way. If I start thinking, what if I crack it? What if it doesn't fit, then my strike is weak and wrong. I have to become empty so the stone and the wall can tell my hands what to do." He wasn't just placing stones, he was participating in a silent conversation between form and space, guided by a lifetime of embodied knowledge. His wisdom was in his hands, his shoulders, his keen eye, not just in his thoughts. This is the practice of bringing your meditation off the cushion and into the world. It's not about having a perfectly quiet mind while doing the dishes. It's about feeling the warm water on your hands, hearing the clink of the plates, seeing the play of light on the bubbles. When you are fully embodied in the sensory reality of the task, there is no room for the abstract, floating anxiety about tomorrow's meeting. The mind, when invited fully into the body, becomes grounded, present, and surprisingly intelligent. The body does not worry. The body exists. It breathes, it senses, it moves. When you inhabit it compelling, you inherit its inherent peace. So, how do you cultivate this embodied wisdom? You practice feeling your life instead of just thinking about it. Start with simple anchors. When you walk, feel the soles of your feet making contact with the ground. Notice the shift of weight from heel to toe. The rhythm of your walking become a meditation. When you eat, pause for one breath to truly see the food, to smell it, before you take the first bite. Chew slowly, tasting the layers of flavor. You are not just eating, you are communing with the earth, the sun, the rain, and the labor that brought this nourishment to you. In conversation, feel your own posture. Notice the sensation of listening. Are you leaning forward with mental urgency, or are you rooted in your seat, offering the other person the spaciousness of your grounded attention? This practice has a remarkable effect. As you become more embodied, you begin to make decisions from a place of somatic intelligence, not just mental calculation. You get a gut feeling that is clear and trustworthy. You sense when to speak and when to be silent. You know when to act and when to wait. This is the calligrapher's sure stroke, the mason's precise tap. It is the wisdom of the Buddha, which was not a pile of philosophical concepts, but a radiant, compassionate, and utterly practical way of being in the world. He walked, he ate, he spoke, he rested, all with a seamless, embodied presence that transformed every ordinary action into a teaching. Your worry is a signal that you have left your body. You have become a ghost of future fears, haunting a present moment you are not even inhabiting. The remedy is simple, though not always easy: come home. Come home to the breath. Come home to the feeling of the chair against your back. Come home to the sight of the light in this room. In this homecoming, you reclaim not only your peace but your true power. The power to create a life of graceful, deliberate strokes, a masterpiece of presence, one embodied moment at a time. We come now to a tender and essential inquiry, the nature of the heart. We have navigated the mind's landscapes, its rivers, its skies, its projections. But wisdom without compassion is like a perfectly tuned instrument with no song to play. The Buddha's awakening was not a cold, clinical realization. It was a shattering of the heart open to the suffering of all beings, and a subsequent welling up of unconditional, active love. This is karuna, compassion, and metta, loving kindness. They are not mere emotions, but the natural radiation of a heart that understands its fundamental connection to everything else. When you see through the illusion of separation, love is not something you do, it is what you are. Imagine a vast, underground aquifer. Deep beneath the surface of the earth, there is one, continuous body of water. On the surface, we see separate wells, springs, and ponds. Each appears distinct, with its own boundaries. But tap down deep enough into any one of them, and you reach the same, shared source. Your conscious awareness is like one of those surface wells. The heart of another person is another. Your pet, a tree, a passing stranger, each is a unique access point. At the level of our individual stories, we seem separate. But at the depth of our being, in the aquifer of pure consciousness, we are one water. Compassion is the intelligence of the well that knows it is connected to the aquifer. It knows that if the water is poisoned anywhere, it is poisoned everywhere. It knows that to care for another is, in the most literal sense, to care for itself. I witnessed this not in a temple, but in a city park after a heavy rain. A large puddle had formed, fracturing the reflection of a single tree into a dozen shimmering, disconnected pieces in each little pool of water. A child ran through, and his foot splashed through several of the smaller puddles, merging them. For a moment, the separate, broken reflections flowed together into one coherent image. Then the water settled, and the fragmentation returned. Our hearts, when clouded by fear and the sense of a separate self, are like those isolated puddles, holding a broken, incomplete reflection of reality. An act of genuine compassion, of seeing yourself in another, is like the child's foot. It disrupts the artificial boundaries and allows the waters to mingle, revealing, if only for a moment, the underlying unity. Love is the force that remembers the aquifer. This understanding reframes your relationship to the world, and to your own worry. So much anxiety is rooted in the story of a small, isolated self, facing a vast, threatening universe. It is the puddle fearing evaporation, unaware of the ocean beneath it. The practice of loving-kindness meditation is a direct antidote. It is not a sentimental exercise. It is a profound retraining of the heart's perception. You start by offering wishes of well-being to yourself. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. This is not selfish. It is aligning your own well with the pure water of the aquifer. Then, you extend these wishes to a loved one, a neutral person, even a difficult person, and finally to all beings everywhere. As you do this, you are not manufacturing a feeling. You are dismantling the mental dams that keep your heart's waters isolated. You are practicing the truth of interconnection. How does this dissolve worry? When you are grounded in metta, you are rooted in abundance, not lack. The fearful mind thinks, there is not enough time, money, love, safety. The compassionate heart knows, I am part of an endless source. My well-being is tied to yours. From this place, action arises not from frantic self-preservation, but from calm, wise, and generous impulse. You help others not because you're a good person, but because it is the most natural thing in the world, like one branch of a tree sharing sap with another. The anxiety of scarcity simply cannot coexist with the lived experience of shared source. Let's practice this for a moment. Wherever you are, place a hand gently over your heart. Feel the warmth, the gentle beat. With each inhale, imagine drawing up the clear, cool water of the shared aquifer into your own being. With each exhale, imagine that water radiating out from your heart as a wish. Don't force a feeling. Just hold the intention. Inhale, drawing from the shared source. Exhale, offering. May all beings in this room, in this city, on this planet, be free from fear. May we all know the peace of the aquifer. Do this for just 3 breaths. In that brief moment, you have stepped out of the story of your small, worried self and participated in the most powerful force in the universe, the conscious, intentional return to love and unity. This is the final flowering of the Buddha's path. Awareness brings clarity. Embodiment brings grounded power. Compassion brings it all home, weaving your individual awakening back into the tapestry of all life. Your worry served a purpose. It was the call of a lonely puddle longing for the ocean. You don't have to hate it or fight it. You can thank it for its misguided loyalty, and then show it the truth. You are not a fragile, temporary collection of rainwater. You are a sacred portal to the eternal, interconnected source of all love, all wisdom, and all peace. And from that place, there is nothing to fear. And so we arrive here, together, at the end of our spoken journey and the true beginning of your lived one. We have traveled through concepts and metaphors, stories and silent pauses. We have sat by the river, tended the garden, felt the clay, and remembered the aquifer. But all of this, every single word, is merely a finger pointing at the moon. The real mystery, the silent, shining truth, is not in the finger. It is in your own direct, wordless experience of this present moment. Right now. Buddhism, in its essence, is not a collection of beliefs to adopt. It is a series of experiments in awareness for you to conduct in the laboratory of your own life. Me leave you with one final story, a memory that for me encapsulates the entire path. I was hiking high in the mountains, above the tree line, where the landscape is just rock and sky. A fierce, sudden storm blew in. The wind howled, sleet stung my face, and the trail vanished in the gray fog. There was no shelter. For a moment, panic rose, a primal, gripping fear. I was exposed, small, and in danger. And then, something shifted. I stopped fighting. I stopped trying to find a trail that was no longer there. I simply sat down on a rock, my back to the wind, and I gave up. Not gave up on life, but gave up the struggle against the storm. In that surrender, the most extraordinary thing happened. I became part of the storm. The wind wasn't something attacking me, it was a mighty force moving through the pass, and I was a part of the pass. The cold wasn't an enemy, it was the temperature of the air at this altitude, and I was breathing that air. The fear dissolved into a raw, vibrant, almost ecstatic aliveness. I was no longer a separate hiker lost in a storm. I was the storm, experiencing itself. And when the storm passed 20 minutes later, revealing a sky of impossible blue, I stood up, not as someone who had survived an ordeal, but as someone who had remembered a fundamental truth: there is no separation between you and the universe you find yourself in. The peace you seek is not the absence of storms. It is the realization that you are the sky in which all weather arises. This is the ultimate invitation of the Buddha's wisdom. It is an invitation to stop seeking peace as a destination and to start recognizing it as your point of origin. You are not a leaf seeking the stream, you are the water. You are not a branch fearing the wind, you are the resilience of the tree. You are not a puddle longing for the ocean, you are a wave of the ocean itself, momentarily believing you are separate. Your worry is the last, loyal guard of that small, lonely story. Thank it for its service. And then, with immense kindness, relieve it of its duty. The practices are simple, but they require the courage of repetition. Sit each day, if only for 5 minutes, and watch the breath. Not to achieve a special state, but to remember who is watching. When worry arises, don't argue. Just notice it. Say, "Ah, this is the weather of worry." And then feel your feet on the ground. Come back to the body. Come back to the breath. This is how you retrain your home base from the turbulent mind to the silent awareness. And in your daily life, perform each action as if it is the most important thing in the world, because in that moment, it is. Wash the dish. Listen to the friend. Write the email. Do it with your full, embodied attention, and then release it completely. This is the dance of engagement and non-attachment. You have everything you need. You have the breath. You have the senses. You have this aware, knowing presence that has been listening to these words. This is your temple. This is your monk's temple, carried within you, always accessible, never closed. You don't need to go anywhere else to find it. So as we part ways in this dialogue, I offer you not an ending, but a blessing for the true beginning. Walk gently. Speak kindly. Listen deeply. When you forget, and you will, forgive yourself instantly and begin again. The path is not a straight line. It is a spiral, returning you again and again to the same truth, each time from a place of slightly deeper understanding. You are safe. You are held. You are home. The peace you have been seeking is the very thing that is seeking. The seeking end, and simply rest in the being. The universe has been waiting for you to remember. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your heart be light, your mind be clear, and your life be a gentle, radiant expression of the peace that you already are.